Welcome to Cebu, Expat by Matt Wilkie, discussing expat life in the Philippines.
Making Filipino friends in the Philippines. Pretty much everybody's fine. There's a lot of negativity on Filipinos relating to wanting something or looking for some sort of benefit. Reality is, most people aren't. You will find, I think the ones that are a bigger pain are those in the middle class, the real estate agents, the people networking to make money at every opportunity. They don't survive very long. As a friend of mine, they don't even get on the friends list, they get on the meeting list, and my engagement with them in the future is pretty much zero. I don't need it. I'm busy enough to want my time. I've got more important things to do. But the thing with the Filipinos is, if you're on a bus, people will talk to you. If you go to the barber will talk to you, want to introduce you to his mother, father, and even a potential date of his sister, not daughter. That is the Philippines. It's like, if you're single, it doesn't take long for people to come across you. I remember we were doing a airsoft tournament. One of the guys has got quite a large lot, and we were there for the airsoft. It was one of the first meetings I'd gone to, and within 5 minutes there was at least 4 women that had already heard in the neighborhood there was a white guy in the area coming to see what's going on and introduce themselves. That is the Philippines. First thing is, news travels very fast. If you're in an area, for the next 10 square miles, they will know where the white guy lives, because everyone's interlinked. So I can give an example of that. Where we live in Minglanilla, most of the neighbors we have around us are related. If you go to the fish market, we have relations that have got stores there. You go to the eatery, there's relatives there. Getting a vulcanizer. A vulcanizer is a guy that changes your tire. That vulcanizer used to rent an apartment from some of our in-laws. Go to the computer shop. They're related. They went to school with my wife, the big internet cafe in the town. We go to the municipal hall. I think we have at least 8 people we're connected to within the government office. We're related to 5 of the police in Minglanilla, and that's pretty much nearly every policeman in the area. Yeah, we're related. Everybody's interwoven, and sometimes it's not direct. For example, when I went to do the immigration stuff, the chief prosecutor for immigration recognized my wife's second name, then asked, did she know a certain person within the family, which was my wife's cousin. So this conversation went on because April's cousin is a quite well-known basketball player in the Philippines. It goes all the way through. I mean, even to if you're familiar with Boy Abunda in the Philippines, or Chris Aquino, April's got a relatives connected with Boy Abunda, which takes you right up to the presidency. There's all these weird intertwined links that people generally have, because it still holds a village society in many ways. In the West, we seem to lose that after a bit. You move into a big city, that starts to get watered down because people are coming in from everywhere. But many places in the Philippines still have that interwoven connection from Cebu City all the way through, from the guy that puts fuel in your car to deals with your taxes. There'll be some connection somewhere. And the expat community is very similar, because you'll have some connection to some expat, and it will actually get all the way around where there'll be a connection between you and them. You know, like it's a 6 degrees scenario where everybody's interconnected in some way. But the point is, if you're looking for friends in the Philippines, you will have no problems. Don't be so scared to meet people. I know a lot of people are a bit, oh, you know, they read horror stories and stuff. Don't worry about it. A lot of that stuff is because there's other stuff going on. It's not because they went for a drink with a guy. It's not because they met this person. It's because there's money involved, there's women involved, there's just headaches involved. But Filipinos are very welcoming generally. I remember a guy, I ended up having lunch at his house. They were very, very poor. I mean, they're sort of poor where you haven't even got a foundation on your house. It's just dust. And I ended up having lunch with them because I couldn't really turn it down because it would be a bit of an insult for them. But at the same time, they're offering me what they have available, which is, to me, virtually nothing. To them, it's everything they got. But I appreciate the fact that they did. You know, did they want anything? The answer is no. They were happy to have a friend for lunch. And that is the Philippines. I end up in all sorts of places because of people I meet or randomly know. Because I'm quite interested in what people are doing. I'll spend time with people that other people just sort of shun. They're not interested in. Because I'm curious on how people live and what they get up to. And there's a guy called Drix near where we live. He's not. I think he's learning. He's got learning difficulties. He's not. His age, mental age, is much younger than he is. But I take the town. If I can find something for him to do, I'll do it. So that he's got some work. He rides around in a pedal cab. He's always doing stuff. But his neighbors, after his parents died, have looked after him. There's no social welfare getting involved. There's no big brother scenario. The community looks after the community. And I like that. I have to admit, I do like that the people actually take care of each other. I know when I'm sick, people will bring food to the house. It's just the way it is. Somebody's got a birthday party. You may not be invited to the party, but they will bring food to you. That is the Philippines. So don't worry about making friends, because it's gonna be something where people approach you. You'll be on the bus and people ask you where you come from, what you're doing, are you enjoying your trip. They're interested in you. But also, it's not just a chat on the bus. If you're saying, well, what are you doing, da da da, you can actually end up with some long-term friends. I mean, I've got a lot of people I know, because you may not be aware, but I spend more time with Filipinos than I do expats because I enjoy the company more. I find expats a lot of them have a chip on their shoulder about something, and a lot bring in have problems. Filipinos generally may have problems, but they don't make it your problem. Their lives can be difficult, but at the same time, they're content with being who they are. They're not driving to be something. They're not concerned about proving themselves. They're content with life, and that's why I like Filipinos. Because even when I remember one of the guys that does stuff for us at the builders merchants. He collects all the stuff on the car for me, because they look for us because they get commission. But he was talking to me about when we had Typhoon Haiyan that he was going that way, because I just asked him how he was, because there's something people don't ask people. Filipino is often not done, because there's this whole caste system that people may not admit exists, but it does. But the whole point was the guy was like nearly in tears then, because he was on about he didn't know his family alive, or because the disaster had already hit, but he was going home that weekend. He was finishing his shifts, and then he was going to go and see what remained of his family. Was he asking for anything? The answer is no. He just wanted, it was a bit of ventilation for him, having somebody to talk to. And I'm happy with people like that, because I'll be honest with you, expats can often have a lot more problems. Yet their problems are much minor to a lot of Filipinos, in all honesty. A lot of Filipinos don't have a monthly paycheck coming in from a pension fund. They don't have the security of a future. They may have had to bury their own children because they couldn't afford medical bills, and as such couldn't afford the medication to keep them alive. Life can be pretty brutal, but they will still smile. They'll still get on with life. They will still push forward. And that's why I like Filipinos. They're pretty strong mentally in many ways, because they just get on with it. I remember one of the things that would come up when we did the disaster relief in the north of Cebu is there was a big thing for me being there. I don't know why it was so important for me from the Filipino perspective, because so many people come up and thank me for helping. But the whole point was the one thing that I remember is A, that they said thank you, but B, everything was about not being forgotten. They appreciated the fact that people had done whatever they did to help them, because their life had hit rock bottom. They didn't have a lot to start with. Everything was wiped out, but at the same time, people had actually invested money, time, everything to help them. And that's Filipinos. And I know from the West we do a lot, but I'll be honest with you, I think a lot of corruption in charity these days is not based on people in Asia and Africa. It's become an industry within the West, and I think most needs to be done to stop them doing it. Because I've seen so many bad things that relate to Western charities and organizations that are just feeding on the poor and the needy. They make me sick. But back to friendship. I would say Filipino friends are friends for life. I've had a few people do stupid things, but at the same time, they're nothing major. I've had a couple of people steal from me, but it's petty, stupid things, and then they disappear anyway because they're ashamed of what they did and they're being found out. So for me, the friendship was worth more, but at the same time, people make stupid mistakes, and often for stupid reasons, but that's life. The main thing is getting on with life. And I'll tell you now, if you move to the Philippines and you can't find any friends, then you can always drop by my place. I'm sure I can find you some. Thanks for watching. But yeah, if you go to the Philippines, you'll have an amazing experience. I tell you now, it'll open your eyes. And I know if you're used to an environment where making friends is difficult. I know in the UK, most of the time we don't talk to our neighbours here because A, it's turned into a student ghetto, but B, that even prior to that, neighbours are too busy. It's like me, I work and then I rest and then I go to Spain. So I don't spend a lot of time talking with people as much as I would like. But in Spain, different environment. It's very similar to the Philippines. We have friends all over the place already. And they're all busy, but because of the way Spanish culture is, everyone makes time for each other. They don't make time for Coronation Street or other TV shows. They make time to engage with each other. Like we like our dinner parties with friends. I think you need to be aware. In the Philippines, the dinner party is getting invited to birthdays, weddings, fiestas, christenings. Everybody likes to have you there because they're proud of you as a friend. Be aware of that. Thanks for watching.